Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, just gave the worst speech in American history after using billions of tax dollars to get every single commander of the United States military from all over the planet to fly all the way to Quantico, Virginia, and hear him tell them that they're all fat and they can't have beards. Not even fucking kidding. This stupid piece of shit, during his fucking speech, he said, "And to our enemies, I have one message for you. F-A-F-O. As in, fuck around, find out. You know, that could have been a bar if you had just said, fuck around, find out. But instead, like a 13-year-old prepubescent girl, you had to type it out like you were texting. This same motherfucker during his speech had to stop mid-sentence and take a sip of whiskey because he's a raging fucking alcoholic. Oh my God. Also, did a little bit of research. I know Pete Hegseth saw combat, but it is still controversial and debatable whether he was ever under fire. But he got all these medals for being like an infantryman. Meanwhile, like, rumor has it, he was never in a single fucking firefight. Meanwhile, he's on the goddamn stage telling our fucking generals about the warrior ethos, and we can't have any fat soldiers, and we don't want an army full of Nordic pagans. These are quotes. I'm gonna show you. And then, after this fucking dumbass Himmler wannabe finished his speech, the fat orange Fuhrer came out, and he had no energy, and he's talking like this. He has no energy. The guy is rotting away like a fucking banana left on the counter, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The world is watching, and they're going, oh shit, maybe the United States military is nowhere near as strong as we used to think it was. What the fuck is going on? Let's watch a little bit of it. This is like a 45-minute speech. I'm going to show you like a 6-minute segment of it, just so you can understand how fucking stupid it was. This could have been an email. This could have been a fucking email. Hi, welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. Also, this is real independent media. I have no funding, so if you do want to help support the channel, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could buy merch, like the Democratic Socialist poster behind me. You can hit the join button to become a member. You can donate to the channel by clicking the thanks button. You could use a 40% off discount code for Ground News in the description, and you can become a patron on Patreon. Thank you very much for 107,000 subscribers, or 108,000. I don't even know. You guys are flying, hitting that fucking button like it's made out of cheese. But without further ado, let's dive into the alcoholic Secretary of War Fox News host who got so drunk he was kicked out of a strip club for getting on the stage and spewing Islamophobic rhetoric. Let's give him a little watch skis.
Every requirement for every combat MOS, for every designated combat arms position, returns to the highest male standard only.
Highest male standard only. You hear that, GI woman? You hear that, woman, GI? You're getting kicked out of the military. You're getting kicked out of the military. First of all, this entire fucking meeting has been a loyalty pledge. He keeps on bringing up, like, we only want people in here who are willing to do what needs to be done. Essentially saying, hey, you know how, like, Trump is ordering you to invade Portland, Oregon and kill the protesters? That's not a joke, by the way. Donald Trump literally said he gave the military full authorization to use full force against the protesters. That's killing them. He gave the military... By the way, if you're in Portland, Oregon, I would be very careful protesting because the president of the United States just gave those Nazis permission to shoot you in the fucking brain. So please, be very careful if you're deciding to step out and challenge our Nazi leadership.
Because this job is life or death. Standards must be met. And not just met, at every level, we should seek to exceed the standard, to push the envelope, to compete. It's common sense. And core to who we are and what we do, it should be in our DNA. Today, at my direction, we are also adding a combat field test for combat arms units that must be executable in any environment at any time and with combat equipment. These tests, they'll look familiar. They'll resemble the Army Expert Physical Fitness Assessment or the Marine Corps Combat Fitness Test. I'm also directing that warfighters in combat jobs execute their service fitness test at a gender-neutral, age-normed male standard scored above 70%.
Gender neutral? Wait a minute. I thought that you've been screaming your head off about how men are just, they're physiologically built better than women. Women are meant to have babies. Men are meant to fight wars. And now you're saying you're going to do a gender neutral fitness test? This is literally just a ploy to get women kicked out of the military. That's literally, like, you know when you're in fucking high school and they make you run the mile? I don't even know if they still do that, but when I was in high school, they made you run the mile. And for men, it was like you have to get it below 8 minutes, and for women, you have to get it below 10. That had nothing to do with like physiology, or sorry, it had everything to do with physiology, and it was the fact that, you know, men and women, they are designed differently. So you're acknowledging that, and yet you're setting the standard where men and women both have to be able to do the exact same things. You're trying to get women kicked out of the military. You are setting them up for failure.
It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force.
Regular, hard PT? Brother, I've seen the videos of you doing pull-ups. They're pathetic. They're pathetic. I'm gonna whip it up right now for you. Pete Hegseth doing pull-ups is the funniest shit you're gonna see all fucking week. God, my computer is slow. Pete Hegseth doing pull-ups. Dude, look at this motherfucker.
It was President Trump who inspired us to do that.
Go back, go back.
It was President Trump who inspired us
That's
to do that.
not a pull-up, you fat fuck.
It was President Trump who
Look at the, why do they all do it like that? Look at this guy too.
Trump who inspired us to do that.
Who is teaching these people how to do fucking pull-ups?
It was President Trump who inspired.
First of all, those aren't even pull-ups, they're fucking chin-ups. You can't even do a fucking chin-up.
Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely...
Oh my God. You flew our generals from across the planet to tell them that? You flew our generals from across the planet to tell them that? You fucking alcoholic!
Unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year.
Does this stupid fuck think that our 4-star generals need to be physically fit in order to come up with a battle plan? Like, dude, let's be honest about something. A 4-star general with all those medals, and his job is to be like in the war room and coming up with plans. He can be fat. Who gives a shit? As long as he's smart. As long as he's capable of coming up with a good strategy.
Every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already. But we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, guard, and reserve. This also means grooming standards. No more beards, long hair.
By the way, the grooming standards, I know you hear that, you go, that's stupid. No, that's how you get black people out of the military. No beards. That is how you either subject black soldiers to constant pain, because I don't know if you know this, but black people's beards grow a lot differently and a lot faster than white people. And constantly shaving it, like, this is quite literally designed to kick black soldiers out of the military or cause them to live in constant pain. Yes, shaving bumps. This is a very common thing for black people.
Superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to...
And also, cut our hair. Bro, there are religious exemptions. We have Sikhs in the military. You know the Sikhs? They have the turban on their head that, like, cover their hair, and they grow out there. They never cut their hair in their entire lives. Some of the best people I know in like EMS workers or even soldiers, they're Sikhs. I swear to fucking God, if they get rid of religious exemption for like cutting the hair, they're just trying to create a white Christian nationalist military.
Standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty, in the field, and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join special forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans. But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards.
You literally do have a military that consists of Nordic pagans, bro. That is like, do you know how many fucking military members are like, yeah, bro, we're going to Valhalla. Fucking Kash Patel said it. I'll see you in Valhalla. You know how many of those motherfuckers wear that Mjolnir necklace? You literally have an army that consists of Nordic pagans, especially considering the fact that we have a rise of fascism, a rise of anti-Semitism, a rise of these Nazi fucks, and they're all Nordic pagans.
Or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards. Both are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over. No more beardos.
Reminder, he flew our entire United States military command leadership here to tell them no fatties, no beardos. This is what your tax dollars are going to. This is what your tax dollars are going to.
The era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done. Simply put, if you do not meet the male-level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass a PT test, or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position or a new profession. I sincerely appreciate the proactive efforts the secretaries have already taken in some of those areas, service secretaries. And these directives are intended to simply accelerate those efforts.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, because I'll feel a whole lot safer if I get to know that the army doesn't have beards. That's going to change my entire outlook of the fascist takeover of the United States of America. You know, when the military starts walking down Broadway, I'm going to be like, thanks for shaving your beard, soldier. Yeah.
On the topic of standards, allow me a few words to talk about toxic leaders. Upholding and demanding high standards is not toxic. Enforcing high standards, not toxic leadership. Leading warfighters toward the goals of high, gender-neutral, and uncompromising standards in order to forge a cohesive, formidable, and lethal Department of War is not toxic. It is our duty, consistent with our constitutional oath.
What does this mean?
Real toxic leadership is endangering subordinates with low standards. Real toxic leadership is promoting people based on immutable characteristics or quotas.
Oh my God.
Instead of based on merit. Real toxic leadership is promoting destructive ideologies that are an anathema to the Constitution and the laws of nature and nature's God.
Like what? What are you talking about? Are you talking about leftist values? Are they just incompatible with God? Because after hearing Stephen Miller's speech, we are the builders of society. We are the ones who create. You are nothing. You have nothing. You've created nothing. Like, bro, what are we fucking doing right now?
As Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence. The definition of toxic has been turned upside down, and we're correcting that. That's why today, at my direction, we're undertaking a full review of the department's definitions of so-called toxic leadership.
Oh my God.
Bullying and hazing, to empower leaders to enforce standards without fear of retribution or second guessing. Of course, you can't do like nasty bullying and hazing. We're talking about words like bullying and hazing and toxic. They've been weaponized.
Why are you talking about hazing? You fucking frat boy. Why are you talking about hazing? You're the fucking military, dude.
Bastardized inside our formations, undercutting commanders and NCOs. No more. Setting, achieving, and maintaining high standards is what you all do. And if that makes me toxic, then so be it. Second, today at our direction, we're ensuring that every service, every unit, every schoolhouse, and every form of professional military education conduct an immediate review of their standards. Now, we've done this in many places already, but today it goes across the entire Department of War. Any place where tried and true physical standards were altered, especially since 2015 when combat arms standards were changed to ensure females could qualify, must be returned to their original standard.
All right, so yeah, just no more women in the military, it seems like.
Other standards have been manipulated to hit racial quotas as well, which is just as unacceptable. This too must end.
Being active right now is weird. Thank you for the 1,000 yen. I think that's yen. Thank you very much. Yeah, listen, I pity anybody who's active duty right now. You guys didn't sign up to be part of a fucking Nazi fighting force, but you're being forced to be part of it. Unbelievable. Very uncomfortable. Very weird. This whole fucking meeting could have been a goddamn email. What a joke. So what do we get from this? We got no blacks, no women, no beards in the military. We got we're bringing back hazing. We're gonna start bullying people. He said, if I'm toxic, fuck you, so be it. No more fat people. We're gonna just wage war. No more defending the nation. We're just gonna fucking wage war. You better be loyal to the Fuhrer, you fucking piece of shit. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe I'll just say that you're fat. Therefore, you've been removed from being a 4-star general who spent 35 years in the military. Here's my piece of advice to anybody and everybody in the military. Get out now before you wish you did. Chris, it's not easy to get out of the military. I'll get a dishonorable discharge. Better than being tried in the fucking modern Nuremberg trials. You do know that, like, every single one of those Nazis at the Nuremberg trial said, hey, we signed an oath, we pledged an oath where we have to follow his orders. Okay. I don't give a fuck. You still violated international law, and you will still be tried as a war criminal. Bros. Military members. Get out. Get out. Thank you for the 5,000 yen. Fitness is the only positive out of this. Listen, I want my soldiers to be physically fit, but that's not what he said. He's talking about generals. Who gives a fuck if a general is 350 fucking pounds? The general doesn't fight in the front. He's not Alexander the Great. This isn't fucking Rome. And even the Roman generals didn't fight in the front. It's so stupid. Oh, it's so stupid. All right. Listen, if you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're watching this live, thank you, stay. We're going to keep on going and make a thumbnail for this video. And do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers.